If you're over the age of 30 years old and you consider yourself a pretty fit guy, overall pretty healthy, right? This video today is not just simply about how to get leaner, how to lose body fat, right? You've already done that. This video today is about how you can break through that wall that you haven't quite figured out how to break through yet, right? And what I mean by that is, again, you've probably already achieved some pretty great results with your health, probably already known as the healthy or the fit guy in your friend group or from people at work, right? That's what you're already known for. But inside, you know that there's another level you can take your health. You know that there's a couple leaks that you can feel every single day that if you were to fix, you'd be able to perform just a little bit better and at your own personal best. Maybe you've been stuck at this same body fat percentage range for a couple months now. Strength in the gym hasn't really gone up in a while. You've been, again, just sort of maintaining where you're currently at for a little bit too long than you're liking. Everything I just explained, I'll tell you this right now, it's not a discipline problem that you have, right? You don't need more discipline. You've already had more discipline than anybody else to get to where you are right now. So it's not a discipline issue. What it simply is an input issue, right? And so that's exactly what I'm going over in this video today. How to shift and point your discipline that you already have at the right inputs to break through this small plateau and achieve new results. Once again, getting yourself to that next level. So let's get into it. So where I want to start with this is just about social media and the information that's online right now, of course, in the health and fitness industry and health and fitness world, right? The information that's being spread and influenced right now is simply, I love it, right? It's simply, though, how to go from bad health to good health, right? So everybody's talking about, okay, you need to work out more, you need to get more steps, you need to cut out processed foods and seed oils and drink more water, right? All of these simple, actionable daily steps and just building these overall healthy daily habits to help you go from bad to good health. But what really nobody is talking about is how to go from good health to elite health, to your best version, right? Because that takes a whole nother level. In order to go from good to great and elite level, it takes a couple simple, precise adjustments to what you're already doing. So it's not any drastic changes. You've already built an incredible foundation getting to where you are now. But to get to that next level, it takes some small fine-tuning actionable steps, again, that give you those best results. What you may be experiencing right now is pretty common for that average healthy 40 to 50-year-old, for example, right? Your doctor says you're as healthy as an ox, right? You look in the mirror, you have a pretty good physique. You don't have any self-esteem issues taking off your shirt at the beach or at the pool with your family, for example, right? You have a six-pack. You can see your abs. But internally, right, you know that this is not maximizing your potential, but that you know is possible for you, right? And maybe these small issues you're feeling is, inconsistent energy levels. Maybe you have to rely on a couple coffees or a couple caffeinated drinks every day just to get through the day, right? Maybe it's a bit of decision fatigue. Maybe it's simply just, you can't pinpoint it, but you just don't feel like you did 10 or maybe even just 5 years ago, right? Cognitively and physically. The answer to these internal performance leaks and everything that you're feeling that you maybe can't quite explain to other people, you just feel it inside. The answer to all of that is not work harder, right? If that was the answer, this video would be over, right? I'd just say, if you want to get to the next level from good to great, simply just work harder than you are right now. That's not the answer, right? Again, it's not a discipline problem. It's an input problem. So you already have great discipline, right? You've gone to where you are now. But in order to get to that next step, it's about pointing this amazing discipline that you have to the right inputs. Now, I know what you may be thinking, right? This guy talking to me right now is 20 years old. How does he know what issues I'm going through at 40 years old, for example? How does he know what fixes to make so that I can get to this elite level of health? And that's valid, right? Yes, I'm only 21 years old myself, but I myself have felt what you are going through right now. And I felt it at the age of 19 years old, but that's a whole nother different story, right? The reason I'm so confident and I'm able to explain what you may be going through and help you through it is because I've helped hundreds of men over the age of 40 years old do this exact thing. And a specific example that I want to take you through today to explain all of what I'm talking about is about my guy, Gary, all right, my current client, Gary, and his full transformation. He's 40 years old, right, got a very demanding schedule, working 9 to 11-hour work days, right? Obviously, there's some variability there, but intense work days. And before we started working together, he was already in great shape, good physique, better health level than most guys his age, right? Sitting at about 15% body fat, around that range, right? And most people his age at 40 years old, they would call this the finish line, right? That's all they want. They just want to get to this point and then they are set for life, right? But with Gary, it was a little bit different. He had gotten to this point. He used to be overweight, right? And he got himself down to about this 15% body fat range. And, just his results kind of stopped. They plateaued a little bit. He made all this progress getting down to about 15%, but then he was just kind of stuck in this plateau for a few months, and he didn't know quite what the answer was. He was already, of course, eating clean foods, didn't ever eat any fast food. He was working out 7 days a week, going to the gym, not because he has to, but because he actually loved it. But again, he was stuck. And so let me explain the exact system that I implemented for Gary to help him go from 15% body fat down to 8% body fat in just 6 months of us working together. But that's not all that happened. He just got leaner, right? He reinvented the way he takes care of his health with his demanding schedule. So again, let me tell you exactly how we did this. The first piece to this was simply nutritional precision. So again, Gary was already eating very, very clean, no processed foods, no fast food restaurants, right? He knew about the slight calorie deficit in order to lose body fat, maintain muscle mass, and of course he knew about macronutrients and how important they are. But when it came to nutritional precision for Gary specifically, it was just two simple actionable steps. The first one, stop overeating protein, right? You really don't need to be eating more than 0.7 grams, maybe 1 gram per pound of body weight, right? But really no more than 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. If you're eating more than that, it's not necessarily bad, but you can delegate the rest of your calories, eating less protein, to carbohydrates. So that first piece, less protein, more carbohydrates. The second piece was nutritional timing. So not just, okay, I need to eat this amount of protein, carbs, and fats, but when do I actually eat these macros? This was the first step that we did with Gary, was nutritional precision. The second piece here, which is by far the most important part, was sleep architecture and optimizing his overall recovery in general, right? I didn't tell him to just simply get more sleep at night, right? Gary had a specific, only about a 7 to 7.5 hour time window at night for sleep because of all the things that he was doing every single day, right? It's not like he could sleep 9-10 hours a night to get better recovery. So that's not what it was about. To fix this sleep architecture for him specifically, we had to optimize those 7.5 hours that he did have and make sure that they were up to the highest quality possible. And we implemented a simple down regulation sequence to do a sleep routine or a nighttime routine before his head hit the pillow every night. Third piece here was intensity with his cardio, right? So he was already doing cardio with lifting 7 days a week. And how we actually structured his cardio is not just doing, 60, 90 minutes on the Stairmaster, right? We actually had zones of cardio. So multiple zone 2 cardios every single week, right? But also 1 or 2 zone 4 and zone 5 sessions. You can literally train to be able to handle more stress. And that's where the zone 4 and zone 5s come in. But then the zone 2s helped with obviously fat oxidation, being able to build his aerobic base for his cardiovascular fitness. And then obviously we all know how important cardio is for your heart health and respiratory system. So with cardio, it was about structuring and specifying his training intensity with cardio to meet the demands throughout his day for work and overall life. And then pairing with that cardio structure with the zones was also meditation and breath work, just to activate his parasympathetic nervous system, which obviously goes into and relates to proper stress management. Fourth and last piece we did with Gary was just overall reinventing his lifestyle, like I explained, right? It's a lifestyle. I can give my clients these actionable items to do that will help them make the best results. But if we don't create a real lifestyle and new routine every single day, It's meaningless. So he had to apply all of these different things, apply these adjustments that he needed to make to what he was already doing for his health, create a new lifestyle, right? Because when it comes to your health, it shouldn't feel like it's something added onto your plate, right? To make you even more busy than you already are. It should be an integration. So you have a schedule, you're already busy with work, life responsibilities, family, for example, and then taking care of your health shouldn't be added on top of that. It should be integrated with everything to actually enhance all that you're doing and make everything better, work with each other. So that fourth piece was simple, just applying everything to his personal life. And also, if you want a simple blueprint of the system that Gary followed, just head over to my Instagram, DM me the word blueprint, and I'll send it to you so you can copy it for yourself. So the result that Gary felt, obviously, over the last 6 months that we've been working together, 15% body fat down to 8% body fat, getting to the leanest he's ever been, looking and feeling absolutely amazing. He broke through that strength plateau that he was in. So being able to actually gain strength while losing body fat at the same time. And then the part that Gary himself didn't even expect, more energy levels, better focus, clear decisions at work, and then also just overall more organization. He was already taking such great care of his health, but after we implemented these new precise adjustments, he was able to create this new lifestyle and have even more organization so that it integrated, like I said, with his life a little bit better rather than feeling like, he has to add on all of these things to his life. So that was all about Gary's amazing transformation. And so now let's talk about what all of that means for you. Most of the population is obviously currently in a bad health status, hence why there's so much information helping them, right? A small percentage of the world population is in that good health range, but only a tiny percentage is in that elite range. But of course, the people at this elite level are performing at their highest capabilities, getting and reaping all of the benefits from getting to this level. And so if you would consider yourself a disciplined person and you know that you've already achieved some good results, but you want to take everything to that next level, you know that you are capable of doing it, you just don't quite know how to get there, I hope I made it clear in this video. The answer is not just working more, doing more workouts every single week, completely cutting out the foods that you enjoy. That's not the precise adjustments that need to be made. The highest level is all about protecting your sleep, that nutritional precision, making sure that you have the structured cardio zones so that your training is matching the demands of your mission, enhancing what you're doing in your life, and being able to manage all that stress. And then again, like I said, that fourth piece, just being able to fully integrate your health with your life. And so if you're already doing the work, but you know there's another level, go to my Instagram, DM me the word performance, and we can go through your situation, see what it looks like, making these adjustments, giving you the best results.